why this name? It's just because about 25 years ago, I came to this country and I left behind two beautiful daughters. And ever since, I was hoping that one day I will join with them. So I lived in that. I lived in that hope till before this war happened, and they come and join me as a family reunification in England. However, ever since this started, I've tried to support my daughters as much as I can to enable them to be strong women. And ever since the war has started, as much as I hate war, as much as I hate distance, and as much as I hate not being able to help, being a bus driver who is hardly can cover his expense, I'm trying to help many people in my community back home in Gaza. But with my little ability, it was not enough for me to cope with this. Till I just come up with this idea where one of my colleagues has inspired me to establish this organization so I can help not only my family who's been heavily affected by the war, and which is not their fault, and also for the other people who are affected. So this is where does come where this hope for peace is born, and why I wanted to do that. Next, please. And this crisis, let me just tell you a little bit about Gaza. As maybe all of you know that Gaza itself, it is not a huge country. It's almost like 365 kilometer مربع, 365 square meter. And it is one of these heavily populated area among the planet Earth. Now we are talking about 3,500,000. 50% of actually this number has been increased over these years. 50% of these are under the age of 18 years. So now you can imagine a child who is under 18. Actually, just let me just tell you something about my daughters who lived there, and when they come in here, they have find a huge shock, and it takes from me to them to settle down mentally of almost 2 years. So a child who is 18 years old and even below, imagine he is living these circumstances. Imagine he cannot just find a piece of bread to fill his stomach, or a water to make him not thirsty. How this will impact him and his mentality. And yet again, 85% of the youth, they have a post-traumatic stress disorder, which is it's being considered as one of the, I say maybe it's not a disability, but this will affect the person in terms of his ability to build a future, or to think rightly. So this war has impacted many people, even impact many people even to get the essential resources for food and health. As maybe you have all seen how many people they are queuing just to get some piece of bread or a bit of water. And allow me to say this, quoting this, sometimes even the lack of the hygiene, the lack of the public toilets, it makes it very, very big crisis even to deal with your daily need. Not to forget now, also, I lived in hope that one day I'll go back home. So I start to rebuild my house where it has been ground to the ground in the first war, which has happened up to 2006. After 15 years old of working very hard, I managed to rebuild my house, my own house. So one day in hope that I go and visit my country. So now it's been to the zero ground. So many people who live in the north, including my family and Anwar, my community and my relatives, and many people, thousands, they have been displaced, and they have now left their houses, not being able to have decent way of living. Next, please. Now, our vision is, I would say, I'm more concentrated on the youth because, as I said, it is almost 85% of the community who have been heavily suffered. I'll tell you just little story of mine how the youth has been affected. My nephew, actually the guy who you're seeing now, he's my nephew. Another one who is my sister daughter, who is about 25 years old. He was full of life, and he was preparing that, hoping that to get married. Although they love the life, they wanted to live. They wanted to have families, to see their kids growing in front of them. Um, 25 years old, he wanted to bring some food after his father has been died in this war. He wanted to bring, and then he never come back. And he left behind him about six sisters and four kids, four brothers. That's in total about 10, and he's number 12. They have been left with a huge mental health problems. They have been agitated. They hated them life, their life. They have left without father, without brother, with their mother. She is very less able to provide for them. As you know, women, they cannot go there and to fight for their needs. So with my activity is focused on the youth and the to prepare them, how to prepare them to go over the problems, and to give them kind of encouragement, and as much as maybe they can, this trauma has been happened by the war, it can be eased, and it can be less. Maybe it will, as it is not easy, but maybe, and hope that we also always live in hope that this maybe in the near future, by the time passing, that their feelings will heal. Also,
So to
providing a
remind you,
safe
Mahmoud, you
um,
try
environment
and
to live.
wrap up, yeah?
Sorry.
You have around a minute, so try and wrap up your
Okay, next, please. What makes us different? As I said, I am now. It is locally uh, organized charity who are working in coordination with the another charities who are working in Gaza, and it is focused on youth and their needs, food, hygiene, whether they are girls or boys, and integrated approach combining healing, leadership, and rebuilding, preparing or try to find a sustainable building long term by recycling and community resilience. Next, please. Our program pillars is movement for healing. As I said, these people they needed something to make them go back to their age, their time, their childhood. Maybe they can forget the sound of bombing. Maybe they can forget the smell of the gun. Maybe they can forget this death smell, to engage them with different activities, maybe a dance, not dance like a big dance, kind of entertainment, martial arts, expensive, and movement therapy. Also, self shelters, nutrition, safe shelters and nutrition. As I said, they needed to have a space where they can live. In summer, where they cannot feel the heat, or in winter, they cannot. The water can just come in and they sleep standing, as you have seen. Youth leadership and circles, by training people who are willing to lead and to learn, support their friends and families. Also, rebuilding by innovate, recycling the rebels into structures. As you know, there is no materials allowed to go inside the Gaza Strip. They needed much more to recycle what is the war has left. Next, please. So far, our impact is helped 150 youth to served, with very much our ability to do so. I we supported to rebuild and buy 12 shelters, recycling 500 tons, and 25 youth leadership is being trained. Next, please. Now, why we are here? I'm here now to ask everybody, because every little helps, and hoping can bring people together. And when there is hope, there is peace, and peace can be found not only by not there is no war. It can be found when you are safe about yourself, when you are safe about your movement, when you are safe about your children, when you are safe about you can find something to eat. Um, that's all can be hoping, and we are hoping now to raise this much. And for sure, I know, as from my own experience, that is very hard these days to donate. But I would like to thank England and all the citizens in England and Britain for their generosity, as they have been supportive, not only by donation but also by standing by to the right thing, which is stop this war, let the kids live their life with their children, with their mothers, let the father see his kids growing, and let the life carry on. There is no need for this war to continue, as we have seen many demonstrative in London asking and stopping the war. So now this is what I'm asking for this £250,000 to maintain and expand movement therapy programs, to train 50 new youth facilities, to build new communities
Anwar,
and shelters. Yes.
can you please show us your QR code so people can quickly
Yes.
scan
Next,
it and
please.
ask you questions? We have only 4 minutes. Just to
Yeah.
remind you, we have only 4 minutes for questions because we run out of time.
Okay. This is if you want to keep in touch or to look at the website. This is the website page, and if you want to keep in touch, and this is the barcode, and this is the Hope for Peace CIC. And thank you very much for listening. And if there is any question, please ask.
Thank you so much, Anwar. That was brilliant. So we have 3 minutes and a half for Q&A. So if you have any question, please post it on the chat.
Any question, please? Somebody ask me something, please. I'm sorry that I have spoken too much, BJ Soholo, but
So we have a question from Lucas, which
yes.
is, Anwar, are you planning to become a charity, or do you want to stay as a CIC, as a community interest company?
I'm now in the procedure with the help of Turn to convert my CIC to a charity. Yeah, because with the, it's a bit hard to become a charity, but now hopefully with the help of Turn, I'm working with somebody else to help me to lay down the infrastructure for the charity. As many people, they wanted to donate, and they were saying that the CIC donation will be taxed, and they don't want their money to be taxed. So yes, for that reason, I'm converting my CIC to a charity, and hopefully this can be done.
Thank you. And Ol has asked, what are the challenges of becoming a charity that you found?
Well, I couldn't just tell you this because the legal team who is working on this up to now, they haven't found any difficulties. But for me to start this thing with my little, very very little information, I will not be able to do this. One of my friend, he helped me to do this, and I was in touch with Lucas from the beginning, even before I have started this, and he was surprised that because the need, I was in a position not being able to help, and I have many people, they rely on me in terms of just giving them as much as little I can. I share my income with them. I just take away my expense with whatever I left. I just help. So this friend, very dear friend to me, he just guided it through me this through, and he said to me, "Oh, charity can be take this and this and such and such and such." And he said to me, "We'll do this one, and maybe later on in the future, it can be converted." Um, so for me, I couldn't see, or maybe I do not know the technicality of this, how to happen. But so far, the team who's working with me, they are doing it, and I don't know. They have asked me all the relevant question, and still we are doing this. So yeah.
Thank you. That's really helpful to know. And we've got one more question from Mariam, which is, how are you planning to? Oh,
We run out of time, so
okay.
but just maybe just if you can briefly just mention how can, yeah, we run out of time. So, how can you deliver these donations to Gaza? Because we know that normal routes are really like closed or unreachable.
Yes, this is one of the things that maybe encouraged me much more than anybody else. As maybe any donation or stock, it can go, for example, to food or fresh grocery or anything else. It will not go with it into side Gaza without being having a permission from the Israeli side, and after fully examined and authorized for this to come in. And even if it does come in, it will be solid, because only just last week almost 200 trucks has been stolen, and it's been sold in the black market, and the price is very crazy. According to the UK government advice line, as they have known that the aid cannot be reached on time for people who need the help, they have advised, if you have or you are able to send money for the people who are very well trusted, and you can show us, we can. Well, this is the only way you can help. So for me, I do not send, for example, tent or fresh groceries or tent food, like no, this will not. This will expire. They will sit down in the sun and the desert for months and months. As it comes to my information, over 200 truck has been now stopped in Jericho, Rafah border, to have permission to come in. So the only way, I'm hoping this to happen, that through the fund, this money can be sent to the people in need, and they can buy their needs according to what they need.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Anwar. That was amazing. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing and for answering the questions. So